Hello everyone. Welcome to Preschooler Mom's First Read Along, Ganesha's Sweet Tooth by Sanjay Patel and Emily Haynes. Ganesha is a Hindu god. He is very important and powerful, and a tad chubby. But when he was a kid, he was just like any other kid. Except that he had an elephant's head and cruised around on a magical mouse, collecting fruit, rice, sweets, and other gifts from the temples in his neighborhood. Ganesha loved to eat sweets and candy, especially the traditional Indian dessert laddu. Yum, yum, yum. His best friend, Mr. Mouse, could eat only one at a time, which was okay with Ganesha. He didn't want to share all his laddus. Squeak! One day, while Ganesha and Mr. Mouse were out looking for sweets, they discovered a new kind of laddu. Ooh, what was it? The super jumbo jawbreaker laddu. Ganesha snatched up the shiny treat and was about to eat it right there on the spot. Wait! Squeaked Mr. Mouse. Don't eat it. It's a jawbreaker. It'll break your tusk. But do you think Ganesha listened? So what does he say instead? But I'm a god, said Ganesha. I'm invincible. Ganesha popped the laddu in his mouth. He bit down and... oh my gosh, what do you think is going to happen? Snap! Oh no! Mr. Mouse yelled. Oh no! How will I ever put my tusk back on? Ganesha wailed. Ganesha was very clever and he tried all sorts of ideas. So what do you think he tried? Can you see the picture? He tried some band-aid and some tape and some string and even staplers, even a toothbrush. Oh my gosh, do you think it worked? So let's read on and find out. What if I tie it on with string? What if I stick it on with glue? Maybe I could just hold it with my hand. But nothing worked. Oh dear. Oh, can you see all his friends? They all look so worried. Oh. And even Ganesha, he's so sad. He's hiding half his face. Is he looking sad? Yeah. So let's read on. I look lopsided, he said. Everyone will laugh at me. No, they won't, said Mr. Mouse. Mr. Mouse is his best friend. He always has something nice to say. Everyone loses their teeth. And besides, you already have an elephant's head, and your friends still love you. So what is Ganesha up to? He's not looking happy. He's not convinced. Ganesha wasn't convinced. He thought he looked awful. He took out all his anger and frustration and hurled his tusk at the moon. But the tusk didn't hit the moon. It sailed over a bush and hit the head of an old man walking by. Oops. Tonk, it went. Who is this old man? Let's find out. Is this your tusk? The old man asked. I'm sorry, said Ganesha. I didn't mean to hit you. I was aiming for the moon. What's your name? I'm Ganesha and this is Mr. Mouse. You're Ganesha? The old man exclaimed. I've been looking for you. I'm Vyasa, the poet, and I need a special scribe for a poem. It's so long that no man could ever write the whole thing. All the pens in the world would break before it was done. So what is this poem? And what do you think Ganesha says? I'm not a man, said Ganesha, and I love stories, but I don't have anything to write with. What about your tusk? Vyasa asked. It's just a big tooth, Ganesha said. It's a very special tooth, Vyasa explained, handing Ganesha a piece of paper. Give it a try. Ganesha took the paper and pressed it down with the tip of his tusk. It made a mark. Ganesha was so excited he drew a flower and a tree and a picture of Mr. Mouse along with a few of his other favorite things. Wow, that's a magical tusk. Do you think you can write with your own teeth if they break? You could try. So let's see. What does he say next? I love my tusk, said Ganesha. I'd be happy to help you. What is the story about? So then what does Vyasa say? The beginning of things, said Vyasa. It's rather hard to sum up. It's called the Mahabharata. Then comes his best friend, Mr. Mouse. He's acting as his official. See, he's wearing a suit and has a briefcase. So let's see what he says. Number 1. Excuse me, said Mr. Mouse, jumping on the end of Ganesha's trunk. I don't mean to interrupt, but what exactly are the terms of this agreement? It is a very long poem after all. Can you tell the whole story in one go, Vyasa? No stopping? As long as Ganesha understands the meaning of everything I say. Can I eat sweets while I write? Asked Ganesha. As long as you don't stop writing, said Vyasa. And then Ganesha and Mr. Mouse agreed. Let's begin. Can you see? There's some Hindi writing down here. What does it say? Let's find out. As Vyasa spoke, Ganesha put his tusk to the paper and began writing. Soon he forgot all about the super jumbo jawbreaker laddu and how funny he looked. He even forgot about the sweets he wanted to eat. Oh my gosh. What is that called? That's called focus. It's called concentration. And what is the name of the book? Let's read it in Hindi. Mahabharata. Ooh. So then Vyasa tells the story. Long ago, Vyasa said, there lived a very brave king of Hastinapur. One day he was out hunting. He happened upon a beautiful woman sitting on the banks of the Ganga river. And so went on the story of Mahabharata. It's a very, very long story, as you can see. 100,000 verses later, Ganesha put down his tusk. The Mahabharata, the great epic of Hindu literature, was complete. Ganesha peeked around at a stack of paper and saw that Mr. Mouse had been eating his way through the laddus as they worked. The poem had taken a very long time indeed. See, Mr. Mouse has eaten all the laddus and he's looking like a laddu himself. But Ganesha was happy to see there was still a few left for him and his friends. The end. So, children, here is the author's note. The real story of how Ganesha broke his tusk is written over here. The story of how Ganesha broke his tusk is one of the most popular legends in Hindu mythology. In it, the poet Vyasa asks the great god Ganesha to transcribe. What does transcribe mean? It means to write what he is saying. So the great poet Vyasa asked Ganesha to transcribe the Mahabharata, which is an ancient epic Sanskrit poem. Ganesha agrees to help as long as Vyasa can recite the poem without stopping. Vyasa agrees with the condition that Ganesha understands everything he says before he writes it down. Soon after they begin, Ganesha's pen breaks. In order to keep writing, clever Ganesha quickly breaks off his tusk and uses that to finish recording the tale. From then on, Ganesha is also known as Ekadant, the one-toothed god. So, children, I hope you enjoyed the story and I hope you learned something about the special god Ganesha. Do share your thoughts. Bye.